This comedy actually has improbable situations. So we come across so many situations which we feel like this is silly. Posted doesn't mean that you post a letter or something like that. Posted is nothing but displayed. Whenever somebody translates something, they actually adopt it according to the plays they are writing. The whole play is actually divided into 4 different parts. Okay, so the structure has 4 parts. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shalini, Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today we are here to understand about one of the prose parts, that is one act play, that is Refund. In today's session, this is prescribed by University of Mysuru for 4th Sem BCom. So we are going to understand about the author first, then we will move on to the theme of Refund. We will also understand the plot. We will also get to know the glossary. We need to understand the difficult words first so that our reading will not be hampered. At last, we'll understand the structure of this one act play, Refund. So let us begin our session today. To begin with, we need to understand about the author. The author is Fritz Karinthi. Okay, so he is a Hungarian satirical writer. He wrote in Hungarian language and he used to write satires which used to mock the society in a very sophisticated way. So he was that writer and he wrote many novels, plays. Then he also was a playwright. He used to write a lot of plays. You know what is a play, right? It is actually the written form of a drama. If you put it on the stage, then it is a drama. If you have the script, then it is called as a play. So he was a playwright too. He studied to be a teacher. His long time wish was to become a teacher, but what did he become? He became a journalist. Fine. So both are writing jobs only. He loved writing, so he became a journalist. Then he turned into a novelist and a poet. So primarily his works consisted of this theme, that is quality of human life. So he was always concerned about quality of human life, how he can contribute through his works in order to improve the human life. So that is what he wrote about. Even this Refund also is all about how to change, how to give values to human life. He was known for his works, You Write Like This or A Trip Around My Skull, and also Professor. These are his most famous works. So these are the works that are translated from Hungarian to English. So most of his works were translated from Hungarian to English, and this also Refund was actually adopted and also translated by the American playwright Percival Wilde. Okay, so these are the important points you needed to know about this author, that is Fritz Karinthi. So let us move on to understand what is there in Refund. To begin with, we will start with the theme of this act. So here you can see this theme of this Refund actually has a predominant theme of humor. So mainly the element is humor over here. So what is the element of humor? Here I'll just tell you the outline of the story. There is a boy Wasserkopf who is unemployed even at the age of 40. So when he meets one of his friends for some reason, that is his friend Lederer. So that time Lederer tells him, you still don't have a job and you cannot understand simple things which I'm telling you now, the calculations I'm telling you now. So you better go back to your school and ask for refund of your tuition fee, is what he says. So Wasserkopf takes this seriously and he goes back to his school asking for refund of his tuition fee. Then how the teachers outsmarted Wasserkopf and they sent him out of the school without refunding the tuition fee is the actual plot of this story. Okay, so here there is an element of humor there. So throughout the this play you can see this element of humor. So next we also have to know about this, that is farce. Okay, this type of play which is written is called as a farce. That is because this comedy actually has improbable situations. So we come across so many situations which we feel like this is silly, or maybe this, like you would not have expected that this would happen. So many situations are there in this act. Okay, so that is the reason it is called as farce. And any act or any novel that wherein we see such improbable situations along with comedy, such a work is called as a farce. Okay, the theme of this actually ridicules modern educational setup by irony, sarcasm and humor. What is the value of this modern education? See, you learn a lot but you're not getting a job anywhere. So the author is talking about that. Yes, this was relevant even in those days and today also it is relevant. The education system which is running now is not fetching you any job. It is not giving you any values that is required for life and also the skills. So that is what the author is talking about. Fine. So this actually ridicules. It might be a comedy, but even at the age of 40, that man is not able to get the skills in order to get into a job. So that is actually an irony, that is actually a sarcasm that the author is using. So this was all about the theme of this one act play. We will now move on to the plot. What is there in the plot of the novel? So this actually is a single storyline. What a single storyline. There is no deviation. There is no extra characters that are coming and adding on to it. There is only one storyline. As I told you, in one line, I could finish telling the story. Like one incident doesn't take place in one place and another incident you need not have to go to shift to another place. Anything like this. Okay. So this actually has a single storyline. There is not much of deviation from the storyline. No deviation, as I told you. This is completely comedy. Yes, completely throughout it is a comedy. Completely it has one storyline, that is refund of his tuition fees. So everything revolves around that only. Teachers outsmarting the student, or maybe the student intentionally giving wrong answers in order to get the refund. Everything is based on the refund of this fees only. Okay, so there is no deviation at all. And also there is a single setting. What is a setting? The place wherein the incident takes place or the whole novel takes place, that is called as the setting. Sometimes the settings may change, sometimes the settings may remain the same. So here also the whole incident takes place in the school only. Okay, so this has a single setting and this is the idea of the plot in this story. Okay, so plot, as I told you, it's a single setting. It has a single storyline, no deviation. That is only comical part. Fine. So you already know the story. That is in one line. I have already told you the story. Fine. So next we need to understand about the glossary also. If we know these words that are new to you, then you will be able to understand the story better. Fine. So posted, we'll start with posted, that is displayed. Posted means like we come across a situation wherein he displays something. Okay, so that time it is called as posted. Posted doesn't mean that you post a letter or something like that. Posted is nothing but displayed. Next we have broke. It is actually penniless. Broke means you break something, right? The past tense of that. But the slang that is used, that means the local language. Fine. So that is called as penniless, means he did not have any money. He was left with no money. So here the author uses this in order to talk about the student. Then her, Mr. So her is used with along like the names of these characters, like Wasserkopf also it is her, that is called. So this is actually a German, the title. Okay, this is actually a German title that is used for Mr. Okay, then we have school of life. This is a phrase. So this is actually from experience of life, from the school of life. That means school is termed as experience over here. School of life means you treat life as a school wherein you gain experience. So the school is nothing but experience. Then we have by hook or crook. This also is a phrase, by hook or crook, but any cost or by any means is the meaning. Okay, so is it fair or foul means you do good or bad. I just want to achieve something. Okay, so by hook or crook I need to reach there. Take a proper way or maybe take a wrong way. I need to reach there. By hook or crook I need to complete my studies. Maybe I'll copy or maybe I'll study well and write the exam. So anyway I have to do something. By hook or crook means by any means or at any cost I have to achieve something. Next we have pedagogical scandal. The pedagogy, it is actually the syllabus or the structure for educating somebody. Okay, maybe the student or the nursery part or maybe the primary level, whatever. Pedagogy is a defined structure of program in order to teach somebody. So here pedagogical scandal caused to shock in an academic circle. So here this actually causes some shock, means due to some false, it's not the proper way of following something. So when you don't follow something properly, there will be some discrepancy, there will be some drawbacks there. Fine. So the author is talking about that. So this causes, the pedagogical scandal causes shock in academic circles. Then we have medieval humanists. So here you have another new word which is used by one of the teachers there. So 12th to 15th century philosophers. Okay, so they emphasize on the importance of human needs. So medieval humanists talk about the human needs, that is the importance of human needs during the 12th to 15th centuries. Okay, so they are termed as medieval humanists, means the humans that are there, who were there during these centuries. Then leaps into the breach, this is also another phrase. Okay, so leaps into the breach, comes to his assistance. So here there are teachers who help each other in order to outsmart Wasserkoff, who has come for refund. So that time the author uses this, leaps into the breach. Mathematics teacher helps the physics teacher in order to outsmart this fellow. So that time the author has used mathematics teacher leaps into breach the physics teacher. Fine. So that time comes to his assistance is the meaning of it. Fine. Next, we have Planck. You must have already heard about Planck. You have had this in PU probably if you have taken science. So this is the name of Max Planck, who was a scientist. He was a physicist. Fine. German physicist he was, and he won a Nobel Prize for physics. So he is a physicist, he proposed his own theories, and based on that here the teachers outsmart this Wasserkoff, who has come for refund. So Planck is one of the theories that is used in this one act play. Next we have Einstein. You already know who is Einstein. He is Albert Einstein. He is a Nobel laureate for theory of relativity. This theory is also used in this one act play. So how do they use it? Like Wasserkoff gives a wrong answer intentionally, but somehow the teachers had to prove it right, because if they accept that it is wrong, then they would have to refund the fees. So what they do, they use this theory of relativity and prove his answer as correct. So there they use this Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. So that is where his name also comes. Next, plow me. Plow me is actually a slang that is used, and that is fail me. That means this Wasserkoff actually tells the teachers that if at all you find my answer wrong, you can plow me. That means you can fail me in the academics. So he wanted to fail because he could get the refund of whatever he is looking for. Then to put one over me, this also is a phrase, and this is cheat me. Do not put one over me. So he feels that the teachers are cheating because he knows the answer is wrong. Fine, though he knows the answer is wrong, he is intentionally giving it. When the teachers are telling that it is right, whatever answers he is giving is right, he tells that the teachers are cheating him. So that time the author uses these words in the mouth of Wasserkoff. So to put one over me means to cheat that person. Then we have polyhedron. Polyhedron, you must have learnt it in your school days also. Poly means more. Okay, so hedron means a solid figure. So polyhedron, a solid figure with several plane surfaces. Several plane, not limited, it is many, usually more than 6-sided. So you have names, right? For 3 you have triangle, for 4 you have parallelogram or rectangle or square. For each thing you have a name. So similarly here also you have a polyhedron shape which has more than 6 sides. So that is called as polyhedron. Then we have hussars. Hussars are the light armed cavalry. Light armed means those who have arms, that means weapons. Okay, so light armed cavalry, those who do not have heavy weapons in them. Cavalry, people who walk and they fight the war. So originally Hungarian. So he refers to Hungarian cavalry here. Okay, hussars, Hungarian cavalry. So here the author who has translated, right? So he has retained the same word because he wanted to retain the originality of the Hungarian writer. Fine. Whenever somebody translates something, they actually adopt it according to the place they are writing. Suppose an English novel is translated to Kannada or something. So based on the situations that are available in Karnataka, because native language is Kannada, that is in Karnataka, so they change it the situations are changed according to the place they are writing. But here the author, that is American playwright, he retains the same thing in order to retain the originality of the Hungarian writer. So at last we have heller. So here heller is actually a Hungarian coin of a very small value. Like we have paise here. So the same thing carries over here in Hungarian coin. So the currency, that is the coins which we refer to, is called as heller here. Okay, the author uses this when Wasserkopf is calculating how much fees has to be refunded. Okay, so math teacher asks a question, how much has to be refunded? So that time he talks about this heller. Okay, so here also the author retains the Hungarian coin over there. It is just a translation. He has not changed the whole setting. That is, he has not changed it to the American setting. Okay, so here he has retained the same thing. Fine. So this was all about the glossary. Then we need to understand the structure of the play here. Okay. So there is a structure for this which you will be able to understand it easily. The whole play is actually divided into 4 different parts. Okay. So the structure has 4 parts. The first one is exposition. The next one is complication. Then the climax. Then the denouement. Fine. So then in the first one, that is exposition, the part of exposition provides background. That means why the story is being set here, what is the background of the story, what is happening, everything is told over here. That is, this provides background. Then the second part in that only, that is in exposition only, this introduces the characters, that is the main characters. Fine. So that introduction is also there in this part. Then it also gives an idea about the temperament and behavior. This we are talking about these characters. So this part, that is exposition, tells us about what these characters do, what is their temperament and what is their behavior. So mainly here the character that the author talks about in exposition is all about Wasserkopf and his principal also, and also his friend. Okay, you have to observe a lot when you have to divide the act into 4 different structures. But yes, I'll be providing you the structure in the next session. So you just need to understand the 4 different parts of this structure. Fine. Then we have this complication. What happens in complication? This presents eagerness to get back his money by hook or crook, conflicts with the determination of the principal and the masters outwit him. Complication arises from this conflict. So there is a conflict here. What is the conflict? He is very eager to get back his money. How does he want to get back his money? By hook or crook, he wants to get back his money. He just goes and fights there. That is the quarrel, the conflict between this Wasserkopf and the principal. So that is the conflict over there. But principal and the masters, they are all, that is the teachers. Okay, so they are all determined to outwit him. They wanted to send him back. So between that is between Wasserkopf and the staff, there is a conflict, and because of this conflict there is a complication. This is an unnecessary complication. So what is the complication? They don't want to give the money. This fellow wants to get the money. So there is a complication of issue over there. So due to conflict, there is a complication. Yeah. Then comes the climax. After this takes place, there should be some point which reaches the height, isn't it? So there is a climax. So what is the climax? Wasserkopf passes the arithmetic calculation but fails to understand the master's mind and trips. So he, when mathematics teacher tells him that he is going to ask 2 questions, one easy one and one difficult one. He answers the easy one wrongly and the mathematics teacher agrees that it is wrong. So now Wasserkopf is very happy that he is going to get his tuition fee refunded, but he fails to understand what is there in the mind of mathematics teacher. Actually, mathematics teacher's difficult question was how much fees has to be refunded, and Wasserkopf gives all the calculation perfectly. Okay, since he gave a perfect calculation, Wasserkoff himself had to agree that his answer was correct, and the same thing mathematics lecturer also does there. So he does not get his fees back. So this is the climax over there. So this final trap of the mathematics master comes under climax. So this is the climax of the story. Okay, so next we have this denouement. This unceremonious dismissal of Wasserkoff means no conditions at all. Wasserkoff is just carried and thrown out of the school. Okay, so what takes place over there? That is called as denouement. Means there is a solution for this conflict what has taken place. Okay, so after this conflict there is a climax and there is a solution for this. So this solution what is there, that comes under denouement. Okay, so dismissal of Wasserkoff comes under this denouement. Okay, so these are the four different parts of the structure of this one act play. So any one act play will have this structure, and this I have specified all the examples from where to where does this the structure stand. Glossary we have understood the structure also. We will come back in the next session and understand about the summary of this one act play. Okay, so hope this session was very useful to you. Please go through the recorded lecture. Let us come back, and in the second part we will understand the summary of this one act play. So see you soon children. Take care. Keep learning. Bye-bye. Take care.